Right now at 10, Kamala Harris headlines the final night of the DNC. And Whitehall School District shows off its new tech lab. Plus, a Wisconsin town votes to incorporate as an independent village.
We're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now. I'm Emily Brown. Support for Kamala Harris is surging in Chicago tonight as the Democratic National Convention wraps up. Ken Kazarowski and Allison Fergit joins us live outside the United Center. How's it going over there, guys?
Emily, good evening to you. The energy is hot right now outside the United Center. Now, this whole night 4 of the DNC was kind of like being at a concert with a lot of openers that the crowd is very polite to, but they're all just on pins and needles waiting for that headliner. And tonight's headliner, of course, Kamala Harris. Her entrance around the 9:30 mark, sending the crowd into a frenzy. Now, Harris came out to Beyonce's song Freedom, which has been the song she's been using as an entrance all campaign season. She thanked her husband, President Joe Biden, Coach Tim Walz, as she said, and all the delegates and voters who have supported her campaign to this point. She says while her path to the ticket has been unexpected, she's no stranger to unusual journeys. Harris speaking at length about her late mother, who inspired her to not just complain about injustice, but to do something about it. She recounted her path through the criminal justice system as a DA and then Attorney General, saying she's always had one client, the people.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
Huge applause. About 40 minutes speaking at that podium. Not a lot of policy talk, but more campaign talking points, calling this election a fleeting opportunity to move past the divisive past and to chart a new way forward for not just one party, but for all Americans. She said she'd be a president to unite and fight for the people because the future is, quote, always worth fighting for. Now, Harris and all speakers this week argued that Democrats stand for a brighter future with things like codified abortion access, gun safety legislation, middle-class tax relief, lower health costs, and overall the freedom to live the life that you want. But they all also echoed concerns for the future under Trump, criticizing him for January 6th and saying that Project 2025, that playbook that has been written by advisors of the former president's administration, would take more freedoms away. And that tone was somewhat similar to the things we heard at last month's RNC when Republican speakers had kind of hammered home the idea that Democrats had made America as a nation weaker over the last 4 years, burying consumers under inflation and what Trump has continued to call a wave of migrant crime. Now, it's a couple of tonal shifts throughout Harris's speech and throughout this RNC, balancing that idea of hope and freedom and vision for a brighter future, but also trying to underscore that a Trump presidency is essentially a danger to American voters, Allison.
Yeah, and while Harris was the clear headliner, she was the star of tonight, there were a few other speakers that are worth noting and talking about those points that you just brought up. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin gave a brief speech saying Trump would cut Medicare and Social Security. Earlier this year, Trump said he's open to cuts on those programs. Speakers also hit on gun control. Family members and friends of victims of gun violence urged for stronger gun control laws. Former U.S. Representative Gabby Giffords took to the stage with her husband, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Giffords has become a gun control activist after surviving an assassination attempt that left her with a severe brain injury. During her speech tonight, Giffords gave a strong endorsement of Harris.
She is tough. She has grit. Kamala can beat the gun lobby. She can fight gun trafficking.
In 2022, the Biden-Harris administration was able to get Congress to pass the first major gun safety legislation in almost 30 years. Also making appearances tonight, members of the Exonerated Five, a group of men that were wrongfully convicted of sexually assaulting a female jogger in Central Park when they were just teenagers. Around the time of the attack, Donald Trump took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the men to be executed. Despite the exonerations, Trump to this day maintains the men are guilty. During their time on stage, the men said Trump is too dangerous for a second term. So as you were saying, a lot of anti-Trump talk that we heard tonight, and a lot of pro-Harris, maybe not as much focused on policy, but really pro-Harris, thinking that she is brighter for the future.
And a lot of pundits have been yearning for more policy talk from Kamala Harris, something that I suppose we're just going to have to expect later on during the campaign season. But both party conventions are now officially in the books, so it is now a full-on campaign sprint for the 70-plus days left until November 5th, the general election. For Allison Ferget, I'm Ken Kozarowski, live outside the United Center in Chicago for News 8 Now. Emily, back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Ken and Allison. The Winona Area Public Schools Board of Education met tonight to continue its discussion of reconfiguration of its facilities in the district. Tonight, they're discussing 5 themes. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall is learning what those themes are. Jeremy.
Emily, the themes range from adjusting attendance boundaries to building a new school and adding a new addition to one of its existing buildings. The board did not make any decisions tonight, and nothing is off the table yet. These are just possible paths forward. Communications Director John Casper says the themes are critical because the way the district is doing things now is not serving students and their families well.
We have grades K through 4 in 3 elementary buildings, Goodview, Jefferson, and WK. We've had some issues with class sizes. In some buildings, they may be a little too big. In some buildings, it may be small. It's hard to equal out those class sizes.
Now, the next board meeting is September 6th. The board hopes to make a decision on the themes by December for budgeting purposes. Emily.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. The West Salem School Board has decided to place 2 referendum questions on the November 5th ballot. The first question will allow the district to exceed revenue limits by $3.5 million on a recurring basis for operational expenses. The second will ask for $28 million for the addition of career and technical education at the high school, as well as renovations to the gymnasium and other facilities at the elementary school. The decision to add the referendum questions come after extensive facility assessments and community survey sessions. The district will be sending information to all district residents. Well, a nice evening we had again tonight. A little chilly, but it looks like we're going to be getting a little bit warmer tomorrow, Greg.
Yeah, we have warmer conditions on the way here for tomorrow, but that won't be too much of a change. It's really this weekend where we're going to see more. Today we just had some high clouds out there, a little bit of lowering of the mid clouds towards the evening, and some areas up to the north had a sprinkle of showers, some virga, but otherwise another pleasant, really almost September-like day across the area. Temperatures overall, with the cloud cover up to the north, they actually were about 7 degrees below average, but down here about 1 degree to 3 degrees, so closer, but still not there. I think tomorrow we definitely will see it. There's a few showers. Actually, Ladysmith got hit by 1 shower. Otherwise, most of that has pushed to the east. A few clouds out there as we lower back into the 60s and a few 50s, but it will be noticeably a little bit warmer or milder as we go into tomorrow morning. Cloud cover off and on for La Crosse, but getting back to 76, and that wind starts turning around, but still, humidity-wise, we should still be comfortable yet. Eau Claire, a few clouds continue. Might even see a shower in the morning. I think some of those showers will be north of the interstate, and that'll continue to the afternoon, but most of the time will be dry with 74. Later on, we'll kind of break down. We got a little bit more storm chances coming this weekend than I thought initially, but the bigger picture is going to be the heat and humidity, especially late in the weekend, and that'll continue in the first part of next week, and we'll break it all down a bit later.
Yeah, heating up. All right, thank you, Greg. Whitehall School District is showing off their brand new state-of-the-art tech lab. The 16,000 square foot facility will serve as a space for advanced technology classes and training for students in grades 6 through 12. The Emerging Technology Lab will feature equipment and resources for training in areas like robotics and drone operation. Tech credentials and certifications can also be attained through the courses. The superintendent of Whitehall School District says the new facility will push students to stay ahead of the tech game.
This is the next level of equipment, next level of impact for our kids and truly becoming globally competitive. Each piece of equipment that we have, which is cutting edge today, has a skill set with it, has curriculum with it to allow kids to learn independently.
Now, there are 460 enrollments currently at the Emerging Tech Lab. Classes begin next Wednesday. The Board of Supervisors in the town of Washington outside of Eau Claire unanimously voted to petition the state to incorporate the town as its own village. This would give the village the power to control its own lands, establishing fixed borders, and prevent ongoing annexations from shrinking the town's borders. Tonight was the first step in what Mayor Bob Solberg believes will be a 2-year process. After filing with the state, they will have 6 months to get the required number of signatures from residents to incorporate as a town. Then circuit courts in Eau Claire and Department of Administration will review their proposal. Now, if passed by both reviews, residents will vote on a referendum to incorporate as a village. An incorporated Washington can keep housing density and taxes lower than what part of a bigger city like Eau Claire?
Tax rate in the city of Eau Claire is multiple times higher than the town of Washington, like, 8 times higher, right. And as we can remain independent and become a village, you can maintain the kind of tax rates that we have today.
Now, Washington has been a town for 150 years and is the 12th largest township in the state of Wisconsin. 3D printed homes, a faster and more economically friendly way to build when we come back.
Right now, it's the Labor Day sale at Home Furniture. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices, like this counter table and 4 chairs for just $999. Or pay no interest for 3 years during the Labor Day sale, going on now at Home Furniture.
Drugs, gangs, and crime are flooding into our communities. But instead of getting tough on the border, Senator Tammy Baldwin supported amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants, including convicted criminals. Criminals like an illegal immigrant with multiple DUI charges who went on to kill a Wisconsin father of 3 while driving drunk again. Tell Senator Tammy Baldwin no amnesty for illegal immigrants, especially criminals. Vote to secure the border.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Get up to $7,400 in total savings on a new 2024 Ford F-150, only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Right now at Home World Rugs, get 15% off area rug sale prices. Discover a stunning array of patterns, sizes, and shapes with expert guidance in every showroom to ensure you find your perfect rug. 15% off area rugs going on now at Home World Rugs.
Building a home can be expensive and time-consuming, but some construction companies are now using technology to build homes faster and with less environmental impact. Janet Shamlian takes a look at 3D printed homes.
Lawrence Norzad recently bought this new home outside of Austin, Texas, with his girlfriend, Angela Hontus. At first glance, it looks like a typical house, until you see how it was built. The walls of the structure are a concrete mix layered with a 3D printer.
These are really strong, thick walls.
We're right next to a bypass and you can't hear anything, so it's very quiet.
We're going to walk in through the garage here.
Connor Jenkins is the senior project manager for Icon, which built 100 homes in what the company calls the largest 3D printed community. Icon says the process is faster than traditional home building, uses less waste, and requires fewer workers.
So where there were maybe 5 different crews coming in to build a wall system, we now have 1 crew and 1 robot delivering that scope.
Only the walls are printed. The foundation, roof, and interior are constructed traditionally by home builder Lennar.
Given the housing shortage that our country's dealing with, it's never been more important for us to innovate.
Several companies are now building 3D printed homes from New York to California. Habitat for Humanity has also used the technology to create housing. Builders say the thick walls can better withstand severe weather and are more energy efficient than typical homes. But this couple is experiencing one problem: Wi-Fi connection.
But signal doesn't transfer through these walls very well, so we're still kind of in the hunt for network situation that will work for us.
Icahn says there are still dozens of homes in the neighborhood for sale, with prices starting at $450,000. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Houston.
Now, Icahn is not only planning to construct more 3D printed houses here on Earth, it also wants to build on the moon. NASA has contracted Icahn to develop a system capable of building landing pads and shelters on the moon's surface. Back on campus, more move-in day festivities are underway at Viterbo.
My name is Joel. I'm a retired naval officer and I live here in Wisconsin. The United States entrusted me to command a destroyer and take it halfway around the world with 305 of my fellow citizens. The responsibility and the authority that goes with the position of being in command is humbling. The thought that you may have to give orders that would put the lives of your crew in danger, that's something that makes you, I think, very appreciative of their service. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Donald Trump took the same oath I did. I was at home on January 6th. I saw the invasion of the U.S. Capitol. Donald Trump's actions betrayed his oath, and instead what he was doing was trying to protect his own interests, his individual interests, not the interests of the nation. With Donald Trump, my big fear is what comes next. We have to move forward as a country, and that means putting the Trump chapter behind us.
ABPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
The La Crosse Area Builders Association's Parade of Homes, August 22nd through the 25th, with 12 different projects, including new homes. Search LABA Parade of Homes for more information and tickets and discover your home's potential.
It's a Labor Day celebration going on right now here at Carl's.
We have hot buys throughout the store.
Save up to 45% on major appliances.
Buy a Samsung 4-piece kitchen package and get this 55-inch TV free.
All TVs are on sale.
All grills are priced to move. Save up to $900 on Serta iComfort mattresses and up to 70% on in-stock TV stands and consoles. It's a Labor Day celebration going on right now here at Carl's.
Carl's, your servicing dealer since 1956.
At Taco John's, we've got beef with other places that start with frozen beef. That's why we start with only 100% American never frozen beef, simmered in our signature spice blend. Say no to thaw and yes to 100% American beef at Taco John's.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. You got a bunch of loudmouth, preening politicians. It's absolute chaos. I'm Derek Van Orden, and after 26 years as a Navy SEAL, there's a few things that I learned. You stay on mission, you know what you're fighting for, and sometimes you gotta get a little dirty to finish the job. Let's go, kids. Not you. Not you. You. Let's go. I'm Derek Van Orden. I approve this message.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
Well, the college adventure begins today for hundreds of freshmen at Viterbo University in La Crosse. Between unpacking, these newcomers earlier got their first taste of campus life, sampling local food trucks, exploring student organizations, and navigating the all-important meal plan options. Starting at 8 p.m., students had the chance to partake in a glow-in-the-dark volleyball game, yard games, and board games. Well, they had a pretty decent move-in day today, those freshmen. How's the weekend going to look, Greg, for those late unpackers?
Well, really, we're going to have some thunderstorms. We have some heat coming, some humidity, and now it looks more and more like some thunderstorms could creep in there, especially Saturday evening. And that's why Roman's a little bit more concerned about the weekend. The hot temperatures, but definitely we're starting to see a little bit more trend with the convection or showers and thunderstorms Saturday night. But for tonight, we're not seeing any of that. There still could be a shower well north. Ladysmith had it. There is areas up there could see it. Then towards the morning commute, we might see a few more showers along I-94, but very light. Otherwise, a little bit more mild. Less 40s out there, more 50s and 60s as the wind begins to turn around and with the cloud cover starts coming up. So really milder tomorrow, probably closer to average. We have a few showers still persist, but for far northern areas and very light. Then we're going to look at warm and more humid for Saturday. You'll notice the humidity, especially in the afternoon. The bigger change from an earlier broadcast we had today was showers and thunderstorms look a little bit more possible or likely towards Saturday night, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's more probably south of I-90 that we're looking at that possibility. But for tonight, there's a few sprinkles still out there, mainly west of Minneapolis, north of I-94 towards the morning commute. Here comes that little area that could come across there with a sprinkle or shower. Areas to the south will not see any of that, just on and off cloud cover. And tomorrow it's just going to be some of the cloud cover. Really, if you're further north, that's more cloud cover you're going to get. And you could still see a sprinkle continuing through the afternoon as this kind of this disturbance, as we call it, really just kind of sits across the area and then kind of sinks south. Areas of the south across will see more sun, but everyone's going to see more clouds going towards the Friday evening commute and for high school football, but it should remain dry. Humidity still fairly low at this point, and temperatures in the 70s. By the time we get to later in the evening, we'll drop back down a little bit, but still you still want to see sprinkles continuing across the northern areas probably through Friday evening with a little bit less cloud cover as we go Friday night into Saturday morning. So we're not going to see too much in the way of some precipitation. Now come Saturday, this little boundary is going to kind of sit right overhead, fall apart, but then we're going to watch another line approach. And the thing is, that's the one to keep an eye on, but not till probably Saturday late afternoon or more likely Saturday night. It's going to come across here and develop potentially a line of showers and storms some point Saturday night. And there's a lot of question marks exactly where this will form, how much it'll be, given we have some other things to look at, but that could come across Saturday. And the one notice with this too is if it lingers into Sunday morning, we might see the potential to see a little bit drop in the temperatures come Sunday, given we'll have cloud cover more in the morning hours than we were expecting. So this is a heat index by Sunday. You notice we're only 89 for apparent temperature, or what it feels like. Out to the west where they've got more sun for Sunday, you're looking at 102, 105. So I think we might see that more for Monday as this little weak wave comes across. So that's kind of the change we're looking at. But still, bottom line, with all this jet going well to the north, we're going to see hot and humid conditions going at least through the first part of the week. So take care and take precautions, as really the heat risk gets pretty high as we go through Saturday, Sunday especially, and then it looks like it probably will linger under Monday. So that's the change. But overall, not going to see much for tomorrow's highs, just really going to be about average to where we should be, with a few maybe showers or sprinkles to the north. Then as we go through the 8-day forecast, there's Saturday and Sunday and Monday, hot and humid, with the storms really Saturday night is the best opportunity. We have another front come through Monday. We kind of see a slow cool down, and then there's a more stronger front towards the end of next week, which could provide showers and thunderstorms Friday. But then Labor Day weekend looks fairly comfortable.
Okay, that sounds good. And if you need to mow your lawn, you probably should get it in tomorrow before
I
this
would definitely do that
weekend.
Tomorrow. It's not going to be that very fun to do it this weekend.
No, it doesn't sound like it. All right, thanks, Greg. Coming up in sports, the start of high school football across Wisconsin. Some state semifinalists from a year ago look to begin their 2024 campaign strong. Highlights, scores, and more up next.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, with 6 locations of fun.
Your child's confidence stems from learning and seeing clearly. At Shopko Optical, our professional team will help your child start their journey of confidence by providing quality eye care in a warm and comfortable environment. Schedule their back-to-school exam at shopko.com.
Life has become too expensive. Groceries and gas have gotten out of control, and red tape is killing the economy. But fortunately, our Congressman Derek Van Orden is fighting for solutions to make living more affordable for us in Wisconsin. He's advocating for common sense bills that would make everyday items like gas and groceries more affordable.
Now, Congress has an opportunity to lower costs by cutting red tape. Tell Congressman Van Orden to keep working to lower costs and support the Red Tape Reduction Act.
Whatever you were thinking, think bigger. It's the King Furniture Labor Day sale. Bigger selection and bigger discounts. Get up to 60% off the biggest names in furniture and 0% financing. Whoa, now that's big. Shop our huge inventory of in-stock furniture and have it in your home quick with free delivery. You won't want to miss this. It's the Labor Day sale going on now at King Furniture.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Everyone's vision needs are unique. At Shopko Optical, our caring team of professionals will work with you to ensure your vision is at its best. Shopko Optical can help you experience every detail, color, and breathtaking sight in clarity.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Believe it or not, football season is here. While many of our Wisconsin area teams will hit the field tomorrow, a couple got underway tonight. That includes Melrose Mindoro and state semifinalists from last year, Bangor. What would the first Thursday of the season be without it? All right, let's get going. Cardinals on the road as they look to keep their series win streak alive against the Mustangs. First quarter, Bangor's Dylan Matheson breaking off a big run, breaking tackles on his way into the red zone. Cardinals off to a hot start. Then later in the drive, Eli Tucker hits the hole and punches it in. Bangor goes up by 7. Still in the first quarter, the Cardinals, Matheson getting another chance, and this time he will not be denied. Bangor goes up by 13. Then last minute of the first quarter, 4th down for Melman's Brady Blaken, looking for a big play down the field, and he finds Colin Christensen in stride, who takes it into the end zone. Mustangs now down by just 6. But the Cardinals showing they can take flight too. Hayden Massman is going to hit Landon Phillips right in the numbers, and the visitors add another score. Bangor picks up where they left off last season as they win this one 35-7. Central traveling to 2023 state runner-up Waunakee, and it was a tough start for the Riverhawks in this one. Sully Scadden is going to get the call from inside the 5, and he plunges in for the first score of the game. Then on their second drive, the Warriors decide to air it out this time, and Vance Johnson sets his feet and chucks it deep, and Cooper Johans is down there and makes the contested grab, and that's another score. Central just couldn't get much of anything going tonight, and they fall to Waunakee on the opening night. Logan also on the road for their first game of this season. How about this? The Rangers picking up a nice victory over Ellsworth by 1 point. They'll return to La Crosse's north side for their home opener in exactly 1 week from today. Oliva Strum also opening up their season. Cardinals had a late drive into the Hilltopper territory, but a Brady Thompson pick seals the game in ES Falls. All right, let's head to the volleyball court. Winona hosting Caledonia, who's coming off a state appearance last year early in set number 1. Liv Myrie setting the tone with a big spike. Winhawks were not backing down from the challenge at the start. Chloe Fratsky is going to split the 2 blockers to earn a point for the home side. But then coming up here, some nifty work from Caledonia's setter, Avery Ogdahl, coming up right here and a little behind the head dump to no man's land. That put the away side up by 5. And Caledonia was looking crisp tonight. They ride the momentum from a set 1 win and go on to sweep Winona. Brewers with some daytime baseball. Series finale against St. Louis. Scoreless in the 4th when Lars Nootbaar thinks he puts the cards on the board, but Garrett Mitchell steals the would-be home run. And then coming up here, big moment in the 7th on the pickoff attempt. Looks like William Contreras catches Victor Scott, but he's called safe after the challenge. And the Cardinals would take advantage. Later in that same inning, base is full, and so is the count to Wilson Contreras, and Nick Mears walks in the first run of the game. And it was just downhill from there. Brendan Donovan would be the next hitter. He would pop one into shallow center field, and that ball would end up dropping just barely in front of Mitchell. St. Louis only scores in that 7th inning, but it was enough as the Brewer bats just could not get going today. The NFL's reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson, took part in the bicycle tradition, as well as King Henry with a sweet ride to the joint practice with the Packers this morning. And as for the practice itself, reports were positive as the defense was aggressive and put some pressure on Lamar during the live action portion of the practice. And the offense moved the ball well against a good Baltimore defense. When asked if he thinks the offense needs more work in the preseason action on Saturday, Jordan Love said he likes the spot his unit is at.
You know, having the 2 joint practices helped a lot, just to be able to see different defenses. And then, like I said, going against our defense all camp, I mean, we got a really good defense, so it helped a lot. But, no, I definitely think I like where we're at offensively, and I think we're ready to go, get the season started.
Last preseason game set for Saturday with kickoff for noon. That'll do it for sports. More news after this.
My day is packed. Client meetings,
patient rounds,
getting kids out the door.
But Eric Hovde thinks all women care about is Hollywood.
It's just deplorable. Sadly, with, females, they spend too much time focused on what's going on in Hollywood.
Well, guess what, Eric Hovde?
We know you supported overturning Roe versus Wade.
And we know you'd vote for a national abortion ban, too.
Eric Hovde must think he knows better than us.
What is wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's fall footwear sale is going on now. Shop our unbeatable selection and prices on your favorite brands of fall boots and shoes. Right now, all Skechers are buy one, get one half price. Get a free $50 gift card when you buy any pair of Thorogood boots. Plus, we buy by the truckload so we can pass more savings on to you. Like $50 off this Baronet hunting blind or a 20-inch box fan, just $19.99.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Turn your collector car into cash. Remlinger Collector Car Auctions is now taking consignments for its fall auction on September 27th and 28th in Winona, Minnesota. Visit RemlingerAuctions.com to consign now and maximize your earnings. Early consigners receive the most exposure to our eager pre-qualified bidders. Reserve your spot today and join the excitement. Remlinger Collector Car Auctions, where every car has a story and every bid is an adventure.
My feet hurt so bad in the morning, I couldn't even put my feet on the floor. So I had to start engineering my own arch support. So I got that, then I put this in there, this one. Finally, before I added another one of these in, I went to Good Feet, and they gave me this. So I built all this together to engineer a solution to my pain. And if I'd have just gone to Good Feet, I'd have been better off in the first place.
Good Feet arch supports, engineered for pain relief, personally fitted for you.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO. Vets at the Perth Zoo were rehabilitating a northern rockhopper penguin after she was found washed up on a beach in southwest Australia. Pascal, living in the laps of luxury at their facility, a zookeeper can be seen feeding her fish. The Perth Zoo said when Pascal was found, she presented with arrested molt, which meant that she had started her annual feather molt, but it was interrupted. After her recovery, Pascal will likely be transferred to a conservation zoo in Singapore so she could be matched with a male rockhopper penguin that was previously rehabilitated by the Perth Zoo. And Greg will have one final look at your forecast when we come back.